Alright, so some people ask for some extra practice over what are we on your quiz tomorrow, the transformations of quadratics. So I did kind of like a brief overview from all 3 days. So from earlier this week, if I was given the equation in vertex form, I want you to tell me the shifts, the stretches, the shrinks, the reflections, all that stuff. So for example, if I was going to look at this one, whenever quadratic is written in standard form, vertex form, which is this, you want to talk about the different shifts that have happened. It may help you to go ahead and pull the vertex out of this problem. Remember, it's the opposite. X value, the y value is -1. So this talks about how it goes left, right, up, down. So if I'm looking at this function has been shifted right 2. Remember, because it's the opposite. And down 1. And how do I know that? Well, the original one starts at 0, 0. So if I was to look at an axis, the original one starts at 0, 0, and this one's new vertex is at the point 2, -1. So that goes right to down 1. So that's how I know that that's the shift that has taken happen, that is happening. Okay. This A value tells you whether or not it has been stretched, shrank, or reflected. So if this was negative, then it would be a reflection, but it's not, so that means it's still opening up. Okay, and this 4 means that it has been vertical stretch, and you have to tell me about how much, and it's by 4. So that's the shifts that have taken place in this. The bottom one, the vertex, would be -4, because it's the opposite for my x value. And my y value would be +0, because there's nothing back here, so it would just be 0. That's the vertex. Okay, so according to the vertex, this has been shifted to the left 4. It hasn't gone up or down any. This is 0, so it's nothing in the up or down. This 1/3 here tells me that it has been vertically shrank. It's like it's been smashed. So this is a vertical shrink by 3, because it's a fraction, 1/3, it should get wider, like it's been smashed down. And then this negative out front, remember, this negative out front means that it's been reflected across the x-axis. Which means that it's facing down. Okay, so that's what we did on Monday. You told me the shifts, the stretches, the shrinks, the reflections, based on an equation that was written in vertex form. On Tuesday, you had an equation written in standard form. So in order to tell all of those different things, it's still the same, but I may not be able to tell by looking at the equation certain information. So what I can tell by looking at the equation is still what A is. Okay, so this number here still tells me whether it's been stretched, shrank, or reflected. And it's been reflected because that's negative. So because this is negative, I know it's been reflected over the x-axis, which again means it opens down. I know that it has been vertically stretched by 2 because of that. And then I don't know how far left or right it is because I don't know what the vertex is. I don't know the vertex of this. It's not written in vertex form. So before I can figure out how far it's gone left, right, up, or down from the origin, I'm going to have to figure out what is the vertex of this. And you know how to find the vertex of an equation in standard form. Remember, find the x value, do opposite b over 2a. And in this problem, a is -2, b is -12, and c, which I don't need, is -13. So if I was going to do that, I would put, instead of -12, I would put a +12, because it's opposite b, over 2 times a, which is -2, which gives me 12 over negative 4, which gives me negative 3 for the x value of my vertex. And if you remember how to find the y value, you just plug in negative 3 for x. So I would get negative 2 times negative 3 squared minus 12 times negative 3 minus 13. Okay, when I type all that in my calculator or I go about solving it, I should get a positive 5. Okay, so that means that it has been shifted left 3 and up 5 because the point negative 3, 5, that's how it is on my coordinate plane. So it's gone left 3, up 5. So that's the shifts. Okay. Now, what you did today, I gave you the shifts, and you had to go backwards and write the equation in vertex form. So again, remember, vertex form, y equals a x minus h squared plus k. I'm not going to make you write the equation in standard form. Okay, so if I was going to do it in vertex form, remember that this vertical stretch by 2 goes where a is. Okay, so I've got y equals, and to show that it's been vertically stretched by 2, I'm going to put a 2 here for a. And then I have x. The vertex of this, let's see, right 3 would be positive 3, down 4 would be negative 4. So the vertex is positive 3, negative 4. So remember when I'm writing it in vertex form, I do opposite h, opposite my x value, and then my y value stays the same. So that's the equation of this written in vertex form. Okay. Now, domain and range, after it's been reflected over the x-axis, if I was going to reflect this equation, if I was to graph it, if I was going to reflect this orange equation, when it's circled, over the x-axis, let's first graph it. So we go right 3, down 4, and it's really skinny, opening up. Okay? If I was going to reflect it over the x-axis, my new vertex would be up here. So instead of at positive 3, negative 4, it's at positive 3, positive 4. So my new vertex will be at positive 3, positive 4. Okay, and instead of facing up, it will be facing down to be reflected. So if I was to write the new equation, which it didn't ask me to do, but if it did, instead of being a positive 2 here, I would have to have a negative 2 to show that it's been reflected. And then my x value would stay the same. It's positive 3, so it's the opposite. But my y value should be a positive 4 to be up here now. Okay? So my domain is always the same. It's a parabola. It's a U shape. It goes off forever both ways. Set notation, x for all x values. X is all real numbers. And then my range, since this pink one is upside down, then it goes from negative infinity to 4. Because it asks me the domain and range of my new equation, which is right here. So y is less than or equal to 4. Okay, so hopefully that was a good enough overview. Do all the extra practice from each of the days, whichever one you felt like was more confusing, spend more time on. All the answer keys are up online. They're color-coded. Hopefully those will help.